What's going on, guys? Liam here, and it's time to go over round 21, give my predictions, preview all the games, go over all the team stats. And I love this time of year, man. Every game matters. Even this game matters, man. No one wants to win the spoon, son. People lose their jobs when they win spoons. So I love this, man. We've got teams playing for top 4 spots. Man, get the hell out of here. This is going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Now, guys, I want to see all your predictions as well. So drop them in the comments who you think's going to win these games. And also, we hit 2,000 subs. And I just want to thank each and every one of you. And I was like, damn, I should probably do a giveaway, right? I literally just thought that just then. I was like, man, I've got to give something back to these dudes, man. They're such legends. So I'll put something together and we'll do a giveaway in the next week or two as well, guys. And thanks for all that. And make sure you check out this video too, this top 8 predictions video I did on all the numbers. I'd love to see what you guys think about that one. And I'd love to see your top 8 predictions as well. That one's just going off numbers. It's not my predictions. It's just going off statistics and stuff like that. So pretty good, man. Pretty good. I can't wait. Can't wait for the finals, man. I'm absolutely pumped. All right, so let's go through the games real quick. We got Battle of the Spoon, man. We've got Dragons versus West Tigers. We've got Wars versus Raiders. We've got Rabbits versus Broncos. How good. Oh, we've got Titans, Roosters, Knights, Storm. Oof, another cracker. Cowboys, Eels fighting for the 8. And then we got Penny Panthers with everyone back versus the poor old doggies. Look at that price. Jesus. And then Sharkies versus Seagulls, well, and Dolphins with a much-deserved bye. Good on you, Dolphins. You've had a cracker of a year. All right, we'll have a real quick look at the ladder. All right, guys, so, Panthers with the win here. They can... Yeah, I was going to say short up. I guess nothing short up, is it, really? There's still technically 7 rounds to go, and everyone's so close still, man. It's absolutely crazy. So top 8's looking like this, and then this is a real good battle here. Parramatta versus the Wars too. So that could be a real good one. And this game could honestly decide who makes the 8 and who doesn't. For real, it really does. All right, so let's go Dragons West Tigers. Let's blast through this one because this, even though it is battle for the spoon, it's not, it's important for these guys, but it's not so important for us. So we'll blast through this one. No overly crazy changes. Jack Bird comes back into the team. I've been watching a lot of videos. I watched a few videos on KO and stuff like that. Not KO, 360, and everyone's sort of bagging the Tigers. They've been getting hidings, but I actually don't mind watching this team. I don't mind the team, man. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying they're going to win a comp next year or even make the 8, but I like the makeup of the team. I don't know. I might be crazy, but anyway, we've got West Tigers versus last time these guys played was this year. Yep, Tigers got the dub. Ooh, carrying a bit of form into this one, and Jesus, the form guide's pretty horrible for both these teams. One win out of the last 5 between both these teams. Jesus Christ. 4 wins for the Dragons all year, 3 for the West Tigers, and then 75% completion rate for both teams, pretty average. Tackle efficiency is about the same. But nothing too crazy to write home about. But Tigers just struggling to score points and just conceding them like, wow, that's pretty nuts, man. Conceding close to 30 points a game, absolutely nuts. At least Dragons are scoring points, I guess. One positive, but I think the Dragons get the one just after a week off. But I'm not writing off the Tigers in this. Genuinely, I think they could win this game. I actually, like I said, I really like this back 5. I know everyone's like they're green, except for the Nofaluma, obviously. They're green, but I genuinely like watching this back 5 play. They're super exciting. And I actually really like Dane Laurie too. I think he's pretty good. And damn, Stefano. Jeez, I'm looking at this team. This team has genuinely underperformed. They've got an alright roster. Just not in the right spots. But I think just coming off the ball, less pressure on. I don't know if there is less. Let's just go to Dragons. Let's move on. Let's move on to something that matters. Let's move on to the Wars versus the Raiders. Top 4 spot on the line. God damn. So, obviously the Warriors, if they win, will move on to the same points as the Raiders, but far better for and against. So they'll push the Raiders out. This is a cracker now. The last time these two teams played, this is a big game. It was, the Raiders were, it was Crocus 300. They put it all on, full house, sea of green. And they blew it, man. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say that the Raiders got better calls. They had all the momentum at the start of the game, and then just Warriors just took over, and it was Jesus Christ. Now Bunty's back, Nakora's back. God damn, that's one thing they were sort of missing last week, was just that extra second bit of middle punch, and Bunty definitely does that. I mean, it's Nofaluma's the, he's the, I guess the bull in the pack, but Bunty definitely helps share the workload a lot when he's in. He's more of your workhorse toiler sort of guy. He's not quite as destructive as Fanua Blake. He doesn't have the footwork, but yeah, Fanua Blake's better when Bunty's in the team sort of thing. And Big Papa back for the Raiders. Look at these forward packs, man. Look at this Ford, Nakora, Harris versus Horsburgh, Elliott Whitehead, Young, Tarpany, Papali'i versus Bunty, and how good. This is going to be so good. So I guess Jack Whiten back into 6. I'm assuming they didn't like him at lock last time. I really liked it. I thought it was such a good idea. But maybe it's just too late to be messing with the team sort of thing. I think they should have tried that early in the year maybe. But yeah, like I've been pretty vocal on. I mean, there's a reason why I don't think... I've said it a million times, but I'm going to say it again. Forward packs win games. Halves decide by how much. And this forward pack's been winning on plenty of games. And I just don't think these guys have just iced games like they should. They've had plenty of games where they should have won 13 plus. Whereas their biggest win of the year, like how many wins have they had this year? They've had 11 wins, and they're... You know what I mean? They've had 11 wins, and the biggest winning margin's 10 points. It's pretty damn average. So... like I said, I love Jack White. And if I'm picking a team, he's one of the first players I'm picking. But I don't want him to be my primary decision maker. I don't want him to be my primary kicker. I don't want him to be my primary playmaker. I just want him to play footy. And I feel like he has to. That's why I think he's going to be so good at the Bunnies next year, because he's just going to be able to play footy. He's going to be scary next year. But yeah, so it's crazy. Let's have a look at these team stats before we make our decision. All right, so both teams... 4 out of the last 5. Just one loss to the Rabbitohs, which is in that monsoon, and then Raiders' last loss was to the Warriors. So pretty interesting there. Both won 11 games. Warriors have played one extra game, so Warriors, I believe, get their bye next week. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's next week. Completion rates, look at that from the Wires. That's pretty damn solid, man. 79%. Raiders 77. Tackle efficiency, pretty damn similar. Both playing the ball pretty quick, 3.5 seconds. Wins at this venue. Now, this is in New Zealand. What's Canberra's away record this season? It's actually better away. Played more games though, but yeah, wow, okay. 6-3, pretty solid. Man, I can't go past the Wires in this one, just mostly because the way they dismantled the Raiders last time. And that was in Canberra on such a big night. I mean, yeah, I have to go the Wires here. Not confident. Like, that price is pretty... I think Canberra a little better than that. But, yeah, I think the Wires are just flying. I think there's so much self-confidence there, man, and just... They're getting it done. And so are the Milk, but the Milk are just getting it done. You know, they definitely haven't had a convincing win all year, but... Yeah, I'll go the Wires in this one, but I've got no idea about. Well, I guess if Canberra win, it'll be 1-12. So yeah, and Wires could win this 13 plus easily, sort of thing. So, but man, huge game. I've said it, man. People don't like hearing it. You can't win the premiership outside the top 4. You just can't. So this is such a huge game. With the Sharks on a bit of a decline. Yeah, it's this could be such a huge game. We could be looking back at this and going, you know, like they could finish 4th and 5th and Wires sneak into the top 4, and you know, we're talking about it. They get that extra bite of the cherry, sort of thing. And people say, oh, why do you think, you know, you can't win from the top 8? The comp's so even, right? And if you actually watch my last video, you'll see pretty much every team only really has a 50% win rate over top 8 or top 4 teams. So, like, if you have to play 4 top 8 teams in a row, the odds are just not on your side to do it. Like it's happened so many times where a team sneaks into the 8, they're playing killer footy, they've just beaten some of the top 8 teams to get into the 8, they might have even beaten the minor premiers not long ago, they're flying, everything's looking great, but when you then have to go 4 games against top 8 teams in a row, there's just the odds of you dropping one of them because the comp's so even is just so high. It's just so high. So Melbourne Storm have the best win rate against top 8 teams. And their win rate's 70% over top 8 teams this year. So even that isn't, you know what I mean? Like, that's less than 1 than 4. So it's very hard. It's very, very hard. So that's why it is so tough. Like, you can literally be the form team sitting 7th, you know what I mean? But then if you got to, then play the Sharks, you beat them. Okay, now you got to play the Storm. Okay, now you beat them. Now you got to play the Broncos in the next final or whatever. Then you got to play Penrith. Good luck. It's so hard. All right, so we'll go the Wars here. All right, so it just keeps getting better this weekend. And I'll tell you why it keeps getting better. Everyone's back. Look at this ins list from the Rabbitohs. Like, people have been like, oh, Rabbitohs won't make the 8, blah, blah. I'm like, look how many players they've had out. People are like, oh, the Doggies have had players out. They've been so hard struck with. Bruh, look at this list. I mean, I know a lot of these were just Origin and stuff like that, but that's a list, son. That's a list of ins. We've got Murray, Graham, Walker, Cooks, LA Host, Jai Arrow, Jed Cartwright, Colin Matangi, and Latrell Mitchell. Damn, that's some firepower, man. And just a little firepower on the Broncos too. Carrigan, Haas and Walsh. Probably the form lock, the form prop, and the form fullback of the comp. All coming back. How good. This is going to be sick. Now, this is a home Bunnies game played on the Sunshine Coast. So it's going to be full of Broncos supporters. But this is going to be so good. I mean, Trell versus Walsh. Jesse Arthurs versus Johnson. Oh, Herbie versus Graham. God damn. Oh, man, there's matchups galore here. Man versus Mam. I always call him Man. Mam versus Walker. Man, can you imagine this Bunnies team if Adam Reynolds was still in it? Like, for real. Like, far out. Broncos stole him, man. Absolutely stole him. I know Rabbitohs are looking toward their future, but man, halves these days can just play longer. Like, I reckon Reynolds has 3 years left in him, and he's already been at the Broncos for 2 or 3. What's his 3rd year? Whatever. But damn, man. Yeah, I don't know if that was the right call, man. I know Lachlan, like, they're going to get a good 10 years out of him, but that was huge. All right, forward packs. Palacia versus Totola. Probably one of the most underrated props in the game. Old Totola, he's elite. Just really flies under the radar. Sele versus Haas. Goddamn. Tungy versus Catewell. Jairo versus Pekura. And Cam Murray. Damn, it's just matchups all over there. And it's good to see Taft get a spot in the team. He was absolutely electric. He's just unfortunately got a small body. If this dude was 6'1", I think he'd be well and truly have a first grade fullback spot locked up. He's really, really handy. Not a great goal kicker though. But yeah, man, this is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. All right, the odds, we've got $1.71 to $2.15. I reckon that's about bang on. All right, Bunnies touched them up last time. That's right. I forgot that. That was just before everyone went out. Broncos got them last year. Form guide obviously doesn't look great for the Bunnies, but like I said, they've had a lot out. They lost the Dalton. Oh, that's right, they did too. And Broncos flying high. Only lost 1 of their last 4. 72% win rate for the Broncos this year. How good. Points scored, points against. I mean, completion rates both pretty similar. Obviously, you want to be in the 80s if you can. Tackle efficiency, 88 to 86. Now here we go. Points scored, 24 each. Points conceded. So Broncos definitely are having the better defense, but yeah, it's different. They're a different team. Like, you cannot score points on Graham. So yeah, like, you just can't. He's so damn good defensively. Man, this is gonna be a game. Yeah, Jesus Christ, this is tough. I don't look like I'm dogging the Broncos. I don't want to dog the Broncos. But man, I was so impressed with Bunnies when they were full strength, and they have already touched up the Broncos this year. So I'm going to go with the Bunnies. Is this a day game? 8 p.m. Damn. If this is a day game, I'd lock the Bunnies in with extreme confidence. I'm going to go Bunnies. But Broncos, this is a big game for the Broncos, man. Like, Broncos can lock up, really firm. Because even though people are respecting the Broncos, but I don't think that many teams are like, you know what I mean? In Queensland, everyone thinks they're going to win the comp. But, like, outside of it, I think everyone still thinks Penrith, Souths, you know what I mean, Storm and stuff like that. And I think people like Broncos can win the comp, you know what I mean, but not like, they're genuine contenders. And I've sort of got them in that patch as well. I'm like, yeah, they could. I'm not saying that they can't, but like, they finish in the top 4. They have the ability to win 3 games in a row, but I just don't have them in that. Yeah, they're a serious problem for anyone they come up against in the finals, if that makes sense. Like, just put it this way: if just say whatever this weekend, it was a full strength Penrith against full strength Broncos in the semi-final, I would not even have to hesitate to be like Penrith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't even have to think about it. But yeah, like, if they can show us some stuff, you know, they got some tough games on this run home. That could be a serious problem, man. So this is, you know, like I said, they've got the hardest run home. They've got 5 top 8 teams you've got to play in these final 6 games. This is their, like, it can actually be a good thing having a tough run home, especially up high, because you get a genuine crack at the teams, and you can download their, you know, the thing, do tape on them and stuff like this, and show them, like I actually said Bunnies this year beating Penrith, because they hadn't beat him in like 3 years or whatever it was. I said them beating Penrith at full strength this year was the best thing that happened to them, because now that at least they know they can beat them now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they hadn't beaten them in such a long time. It was sort of like, you know, they become your bogey team, and then people start talking about, you can't beat them, they can't beat them, and it becomes a thing. And I thought that was huge for the Bunnies winning that this year. Because like I said, if they meet up in the finals, they're going to play all the tape channel on and go, yeah, last time they beat, you know, like, it was even Parramatta last year, like, they'd beat Penrith quite a few times, and I know they ended up getting hiding in the grand final, but everyone was like, well, they've beaten them. Like, well, you know, like, at least you got that little bit of confidence sort of thing. So, but yeah, if this was in Sydney in a day game, I'd say Bunnies for sure, but I think Broncos have a real shot at this one, but I'm still going to tip the Bunnies. Titans Roosters. This is a bit of a weird middle game. Both teams, you know. Did I say Bunnies? Titans Roosters. Bit of a middle game here. Obviously, like, both these teams, even though I don't think they can play finals, you know what I mean? You're going to probably need 13 wins for the year, and they're on 7 and 8. So, no, both on 7. So mathematically still possible, but I don't see it happening. But I mean, look, if Roosters or Titans can just fight their way up to 9th or 10th, you know what I mean? At least you can be like, you know what, it's something to build on for next year, sort of thing. So, not a huge game by any means. It's probably the game that means the least out of anyone. But Teddy's back. We've got Joey Manu in the centres and Suaalii on the wing. Finally. I actually really like Nathan Brown at lock, and I didn't mind Radley. Radley had a poor first half, but he had a pretty good second half. Aaron Clark comes in at lock. I actually thought he was really good against Parramatta. I kept saying, I see something in this dude, but he hadn't quite transferred on, and I'm not too sure what happened to... he's gone in a prop, Isaac Liu. Okay, there we go. Oh, because Tino's out, of course. Tino's out. Brimson comes back in. So Leonard's gone in a prop, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Now, we'll go through the team stats real quick, but I've already made my mind up who's going to win this. So both lost their last 3, both won 7 games this year. Titans completing at 78, Roosters at 75. That won't get it done. Titans conceding 25 points a game, and I mean, that's not horrendous. I mean, it's not great, but like, it's more than this. Like, only been able to, like, can we look at this for a second? Teddy, Tupou, Joey Manu, Suaalii, and Kiri, and he's scoring 16 points a game. Come on, man, that is trash. What the hell is going on there? But yeah, so I actually think Roosters get this one done. I think Tino's such a huge loss. Like, you watched when he came, he puts that Titans team on his back, man. He's so damn good. And yeah, I think this might be one. I think Roosters actually might go on a little run to go. I don't think they'll make the 8, but I think they're going to win a few games coming home, sort of thing. So I think the Roosters might get this one done. Like, they're embarrassed, man. Like, they're embarrassed, sort of thing. And that if they lose this, they're going to be like, yeah, well, they probably won't go down any further because I think these teams will lose too. But like, they're going to be like the Dolphins. If they lose this, there's a very good chance the Dolphins finish above them this year. Like, yeah, I think Roosters will get it done. I think the Roosters will get it done. Having said that, I would not be shocked for 1 second if the Titans win, if that makes sense. I would just. Of course. Like, what were you thinking, bro? Have you watched the Roosters play this year, bro? What were you thinking? That may be the conversation I have with myself after this game, man, for real. All right. Knights, I thought they've looked better lately versus Storm, but Jesus Christ, Storm are just doing Storm things. Hey, they're looking the goods, eh? They're looking real, real good. And in my prediction video with the stats and stuff like that, like I said, they've got the best win rate against top teams. They're dropping games here and there, but they're just doing Melbourne because it's just so tight. You're going to lose games here and there. It's just the way it is. But yeah, they're doing Melbourne things, and I see them coming good in this one for real. It was funny, just before I did this video, I was just looking through their team list. I'm like, fuck, they got a pretty good team. And I was watching the Bloke in the Bar podcast before, and I was like, oh, man, like they're like sort of crossing there. I'm like, he's actually been pretty handy. Like, but anyway, but yeah, like I said, I've been raving. This team 1 to 13 to me is just so damn good. I'm just not a huge fan of this bench. I think that's where they're lacking, and I've been saying I think Nelson has to go to the bench just to give them some oomph off it. But I'm not telling Craig Bellamy what to do, bro. He knows a little more about rugby league than me, just a little bit. But yeah, we're pretty unchanged here. Munster's doing his thing. Munster's standing. Yeah, we'll have a look at the team stats, but I'm struggling to pick against Melbourne here and just haven't played this year yet. But geez, look at that, 50-2. Damn, was that the end of last year? No, it was in May. Okay. Yeah, look at those Knights. 2 from 2. Hottest team in the comp. Melbourne just hitting their stride. I mean, lost to Penrith pretty handily without Cleary, which is just scary because they've been killing it, and then they're so good, man. 65% win rate for the Storm this year, 41%. I mean, look, they can jag a few wins towards the end of the year. It's something to build on. Completion rate, very Melbourne-like, 79%, 75 for the Knights. Storm, 19 points conceded to 21. I mean, that's pretty high for Melbourne, to be fair. Like, yeah, that's to put it in perspective, I think Penrith's 11 or 12. And both scoring 23 points. So yeah, Melbourne are sort of winning a little uglier this year, but they're still chalking up these wins, man. And we'll go Melbourne here, guys. I don't think, but this isn't a game. This is just a game that Melbourne Storm don't drop. Oh man, Parramatta Cowboys. I'm so disappointed in this, man, because I was like, full strength Parramatta, full strength Cowboys. They've both been killing it. I was genuinely like, man, like, because Parramatta have had their dramas. Cowboys sucked at the start of the year. They're both coming good at the right time. I was like, they played in the semi-finals last year. I had this game circled ages ago. I'm like, man, not ages, but like a month ago when both teams caught fire. I'm like, this is going to be a sick game. And then, of course, RCG, Sevo, and then Dylan Brown's out there grabbing jugs and getting suspended. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, bro. But yeah, this could have been such a good game. We've been so robbed. Been absolutely robbed because these are just legit two of my favourite teams to watch play. And we're going to watch them play like, you know what I mean? Like, they just would have gone at it in this game. And they're still going to, and I still think it's going to be a sick game. Mika Sivo's named, but if you look at the casualty, like, he definitely got suspended, so I'm not too sure what's going on there. He's suspended to round 25. So not too sure if what's going on with that. If you guys know, drop it in the comments. Maybe they're fighting the charge or whatever it is, sort of thing. But yeah, it's damn, he got 5 weeks. That's harsh. I mean, it was bad, but I think it was more clumsy than bad. But anyway, whatever. What do I know? Parramatta have some pretty handy replacements. So obviously Wonga Blake can come in, and also Hayes Dunster. Look, to be honest, man, like everyone's been harping on about Sevo. I actually haven't rated him that highly. Like, he scores heaps of tries, but so many of Sevo's tries are just from this dude here stripping the defence, and he just strolls over. I reckon if Wonga or Dunster come in, I think they might play a bit harder. Like, I've been real critical of Mika Sevo's what are they called, hit-ups, kick returns, and, his carries. Like Semi's been playing way better than Sevo, for sure. Like, if I was picking a team tomorrow, I'd take Semi over Sevo, for sure. Like, he's been unbelievable. His carries have been ridiculous. Maybe one of these guys come in and will carry a bit harder, because I think that's what, because Clint's a smaller guy, he can't really help out with he takes them, but he gets crushed. Sort of thing, and then Russell and Simonson will come in and help out a bit too, but having a genuine, a genuine someone that's, obviously everyone would love a To'o in their team, or a Semi, dare I say, he's been doing To'o numbers, it'd help out a lot, so I'm not too sure, but yeah, like Hayes Dunster and Wonga Blake, so Parramatta's been hurt pretty heavily here, but it's not like, they can't win, they're definitely in this game for sure. Like I said, Dijon Arcee's been really good. He was actually pretty poor last week, but he has been good up until that point. But yeah, I really noticed it against the Titans game. Like, Parramatta like going right a lot. They go left and right, obviously. They're pretty even team, but I felt like they were on right way more, and I just felt when they did go left, it was just not on. Like, whereas Dillbags just skips out, gets laying in, and what that does sort of too is it just spreads out the defence, because they're like, Dillbags on one side, Moses on the other, Sean Lane. Last year it was Papa. He just spread the defence out, and the holes just appeared everywhere, sort of thing. So, and I felt last week, it's hard to tell from the telecast, but I felt like the Titans just stacked Moses' side with an extra man, and it was much harder for them to get around, sort of thing. So, I might be tripping, but the camera angle doesn't you can't really see who's on what side with the way it's sort of lined up. But to me, it appeared like they literally put an extra man on Moses' side, whereas you couldn't do that with Dillbags in the team. He'll rip you to shreds if you're starting with the man down. Dillbags will strip you if you have numbers. So if you have another man on the other side, you're in big trouble. This team is just so good. Drinkwater, this is still a good test, man, and I genuinely see either team winning this. I really do. But, look at some of these matchups still. Ogden's been really good. Hopgood's been killing it. Bryce Cartwright last week, he folded. He folded for feeder twice. Moe, he's on another level, man. I just cannot believe how good he's been. Cotter versus Hopgood. Lane versus Luciano. So we've got some matchups here. Pretty even forward pack matchup, I'd say. Relatively even. Probably slightly. I couldn't. I was about to say slightly tip it to Para, but I probably couldn't, just because of the hooker and that lock they got in there. That lock. I'd definitely give the back line. At least I'd give the 1 to 5 to the Cowboys for sure, and then I think Moses clearly has Townsend's number, but Tommy didn't. Got Arcee on lockdown. So benches, I guess if we compare them, Jakey Granville doing his thing. Neem, I think, has been huge. He really shifts the way the game's played, and I genuinely think this game's closer than people think. I think that's a little unfair to Para. I genuinely think Cowboys have been better than Para, at least in the last 4 games maybe. I feel like Parramatta last week, they should have beaten Titans by much more. But a win's a win, I guess. If you can have an off night and still win a game, hey, you still got the game. But But yeah, let's have a look at the team stats because they've both got the same amount of wins. This could be even. So this is the Cowboys' last loss was against Parramatta. So this is why I was really looking forward to this one because I feel like Parramatta actually have the best style of game to beat the Cowboys when they're full strength. I really do. Like just that win the collision I think that really throws off because they normally win the. I just think it's a really good matchup. These two teams. I could watch these two teams play every week, and look at that, two hottest teams in the comp. God damn, 56%. This should all be pretty even. These numbers, guys. Completion rates. The Cowboys have them there. Slightly better tackle efficiency from the Eels. Parramatta scoring more points per game, and both conceding 21 per game. Parramatta were under 20 for at least the last 5 or 6 weeks, so they've obviously leaked a few tries over the last couple. This is where I think the Cowboys win the game, though. They are just so good at, like, it's sort of weird, like, we say win the collision. They try to win the collision, but they don't really try and... I mean, McLean sort of does, but they don't really try and push for ridiculous post-contact meters. Like they just hit the ground, find their front play. But they're almost playing touch footy. It's ridiculous. But they still... Like, you can do that. And like you used to watch... who was it? There was teams back in the day, like Melbourne and stuff. They would literally run to the line and fall into it. And then, like, and just jump up and play the ball. You know what I mean? But, like... The Cowboys don't do that. They hit it, like they hit the line, but then they are just trying to find the ground and find the front so they can just play the ball quickly. And it works so good. I've been saying it, man. All this post-contact meter stuff is for fantasy footballers and fucking. It's not. I'll take a quick play the ball like from the Cowboys, like that, which was what the Cowboys do. Over getting 3 post-contact meters any day of the week. Like, who cares about 3 meters? Like, what's that going to do? Like, a fast play the ball can literally get you a try. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'll take that any day of the week. And the Cowboys, and strangely, the Tigers are almost the best at it. But obviously, the Tigers don't have guys like Drinkwater and Val Holmes to play off the back of. So, man, it should be good. It should be good. I hope it's a really good game. I really want this to be a good game. I really want both teams to get through this injury free because I actually want to see both these teams go deep into the finals. I really do. Both got great fan bases, both exciting teams to watch. I genuinely hope both these teams go deep into the finals. So I'm really just praying, touching wood that there's no injuries here. We'll tip the Cowboys. Inns, To'o, Yo, Martin, Cleary, Crichton. And they've been winning. Wow. We could be witnessing something special here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, for real. Like, I saw a stat the other day. I think it's... Since 2019 or 2020, they've lost 15 games. It's just... I mean, look at this. We got the best forward pack. One of the best forward packs assembled, in my opinion. Like, against one of the worst I've ever seen. Minus Preston, you can keep that chin up, brother. You've been absolutely amazing. But this forward pack has just been atrocious against Moses, Fisher, Harris, Sorensen, Martin, and Yo. God damn, that is ridiculous. And then you got this dude, future GOAT. No, I'm not going to claim that. I did say that a long time ago that this guy's probably the future GOAT. But when you got this guy playing off the back of that, it's just wow. It's scary. It's scary what these guys are going to, possibly going to be able to do this year. And look at these odds, guys. I mean, $1.33 to $12.50. Absolutely ridiculous. Toby Sexton out as well. I was a bit like, and Doggies fans, I don't hate you. I like the Doggies. My favourite team to watch, probably of all time, was the early 2000 Bulldogs. Like Willie Mason, Ogre, Rennie Matua, Pritchard, Sonny Bill. God damn, Matty Utai. He was the original Toto. I don't hate you. You've just sucked lately. And if a team's sucking, doesn't matter who it is, I'm just going to say they suck. This isn't Channel 9, you know what I'm saying? This isn't Channel 9 where they have to say, I reckon they've got a shot this weekend. I'm just going to speak my mind, and I just genuinely have thought they've sucked. And I'm going off numbers. Like, I just read numbers, and if the numbers say you suck, I'll say you suck. And your numbers, look at these numbers. I mean, you're conceding 30 points a game over the season, only scoring 17. It's unfortunate, man. But I just pray the doggies get better next year, man, because it could get worse, man. Like, I don't know. Like, Sexton looked really good, and when he first that first game where he came in, not last game, the game before, all the doggies fans, oh man, he's a saviour, he's going to be the man. I was like, guys, settle down. He's like, not that good. But then I was genuinely really impressed. I'm like, he backed it up and did it the second week. I was like, I think he got knocked out or whatever. But I was like, damn, like, there is actually something to build on there. So hopefully he does come back soon, and hopefully they can jag a few games before the end of the year, because Jesus Christ, it's been awful. Awful season. Like, these numbers are atrocious. They're way worse than last year. And I was just like I was saying earlier in this video, like, if you go down, like look at the Broncos, right? Like 4 years ago, Spoon. Next year, 13th or 14th. Next year, 9th. Now in this year, now they're genuinely like, if you're dropping down, you can look at the Tigers. They just sort of. It just sort of like gradually goes down, and like, they don't want to get smoked in every game for the rest of the year. That's not a good building block for next year, because it's like, just for real, like the way they've been playing, right, conceding these numbers. Like, honestly, you guys think about this for 1 second. If they're conceding this and their forward packs and they've been missing, the tackle efficiency's been where it's at, and they're just missing tackles, props are just strolling over for tries. Like, do you know how many forwards have just scored tries on them? So the big recruit next year is Stephen Crichton. You think you drop Stephen Crichton into that team, they're going to be heaps better? Of course they're not, man. That's not going to help at all. I know they get kick out as well. But yeah, it's like, they need to build something, man. I think if the doggies want to be a genuine, even like just pushing for the 8 next year, I think they have to jag some games at the start of this year, because I'm not seeing it at the moment. I'm really not. Like, you know when you can like the Knights, right, for example. Like, at the start of the year, I was going, Jesus Christ, they're bad, man. Like, they're putrid. I'm like, geez, they could be the easy beat this year. But you look at them over the last month and you go, oh yeah, I see a little something. Like, they're not going to play finals, but you're like, you know what? They get a good preseason in. They maybe recruit a second good hooker, or, you know what I mean, like a nice edge running back. You're like, man, I see something there. You know what I mean? I can see them building on it. But yeah, if doggies, I'm not seeing it yet. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't think dropping Crichton into this team, it gets a whole heap better, for real. So hopefully they can build on something this year. And again, doggies fans, I don't hate you. I'm just saying what I see. And it's funny, people think I hate their teams when I say they're bad. Like, I'm looking at every team here. If any team here won the comp, I'll be like, okay, like, cool. Like, I don't care who. It's wild to hate a rugby league team. It's bizarre to me. But anyway, but yeah, this could get ugly real quick. I mean, this could be, the line I believe is 27. Yeah, this could be 50. It is in the wet. Penrith aren't ridiculously good in the wet. But I don't think that'll save the doggies. Even when the Tigers beat the Penrith in the wet, the Titans were showing something. And they had Brooks. They had, I think Dewey was in that game. I might be wrong. And they were flying. They didn't really know they fully sucked yet. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, if Panthers put on 2 or 3 tries in the first sort of 12 minutes, this could get messy, because Bulldogs actually play pretty hard until they know they can't win. Like, they can sort of be half in games and they're playing some real nice footy. But you can see when, you can just watch, like, you'll almost watch it, a try will happen and you just watch the whole team go. And you're like, damn. Like, now that's when the scores get put on, and that's why this is 30 and not 26 or 7. Like, that's atrocious. But anyway, we could be witnessing greatness here, man. Penny 3 in a row. It's a real possibility. Now, this is a real interesting game. Sharkies, if you watch my last video where I did the top 8 predictions, it actually had the Sharkies dropping out of the 8 because they've got 4 top 8 teams left. Haven't won against a top 8 team yet. And just not looking good. Like, sometimes they just, if their edges don't get tested and they're just rolling, they just blitz teams. But if they get put under any sort of pressure, which top 8 teams do, that's the difference between bad teams and good teams a lot of time. If you're playing a good team, you might be able to get on top of them, but they'll grind their way back. They'll find a way back in. They'll wrestle some momentum back, and then they come back at you. You know what I mean? And the game seesaws. Whereas when you play a bad team, you get on top of them and they just stay down. You know what I mean? They just submit, sort of thing. And this is the team when teams are pushing back. The Sharkies are just arse. It's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy, their numbers against top 8 teams. It's wild. And he's made some changes. Connor Tracy comes in for Talakai. Huge. Because this is a hard thing because Talakai's numbers are off the charts. It's crazy. Brendan Trindle comes in for Moylan. Now, Moylan's been dropped out of the team, but Talakai's coming in on the bench. I actually really like that because he can come in at second row. Now, they do have some players out. I genuinely think Fanuka comes back for this game too, guys. I genuinely think, I don't think Rudolph's fit. But where's the Sharkies? I mean, I genuinely think they probably could have jagged a couple more of these games with Royce Hunt, Ueli in the team. Like, these are really good props. So they're not top 5. They might even be top 10, but they're around there. They're good. They're very good players. I honestly thought that Hunt was probably the second or third best bench prop coming off. He was really good coming off the bench. You know what I mean? Obviously, Spencer's probably the best. You've got a couple other guys in there. But he like, Ueli would come off and Hunt would come on, and you wouldn't notice the difference. It was just business as usual sort of thing. So I do think there have been pretty big losses, and they've both missed games this year, sort of thing. So sometimes individually, sometimes at the same time. But yeah, crazy. It's just so bizarre because this team is, like, this Sharks team is so stacked. Like, even depth-wise, like, Connor Tracy hasn't been able to get a run this year. It's wild. Brendan Trindle would just do a great job at any other club. Like, if you dropped him in at Penrith, he'd be a superstar. Like, you know what I'm saying? In that Penrith system, we'd be talking about him. He'd probably get a Blues jersey. Like, if like that's how good he is. Not because he's that good. I'm just, Penrith would sort of make him look good. He's a very good player, so he'd shine. That's what I'm trying to sort of say. But yeah, it's I mean, this team is so good, but it's just, I think Nikoro's has been killing it. Oh man, it's just it's wild to me. So who comes in? Nikora, Jesse. Yeah, I don't know. I'd almost put McInnes in here just because you know he's going to defend his ass off. That's the edge that's been leaking tries. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is panic stations for the Sharkies. Because, I mean, look, everyone I watched, they're like, oh, you could just really see Manly are off. And I generally thought, like, I thought Jake Trbojevic had one of the worst games he's ever had last week. I genuinely think if he played good last game, because he gave away so many 6-agains, he gave away so many penalties, he actually slipped off a couple tackles. I'm like, you never see Jake doing that. And I'm not bagging him. Like, he is 100% allowed to have a game like that every now and again. But I generally think if Jake had a Jake game, I think they'd really push the Cowboys. I actually think they're a little better than what people think they are, but I just think they're just patchy. They're just a little patchy sort of thing. So, I don't know. This isn't a walk in the park for the Sharkies. And what are the odds? See, they got them firm favourites, but I'm not so convinced, eh? I'm really not so convinced. Yeah, wow, this is really hard. This is really hard. Let's have a look at the stats. All right. So, Manly, 2 from their last 5. Sharkies, 3 from their last 5. It's not bad. It's just, yeah, it's so bizarre. This team, it's so hard to figure out. It's so hard to figure out what's going on there. Because you see them sometimes, you're like, they could win the comp. And then you're just like, wow, they just got beaten by 30. You know, like, what the hell? But anyway, so 10 from 17. Like I said, not horrendous. 7 from 17, getting pretty horrendous. Completion rate 75%. They've definitely got to work on that. They've had some games with just terrible hands. Tackle efficiency 87 for both. I mean, average points scored. I mean, this was one of the best attacks in the comp. And it's funny because this isn't horrendous either. I mean, we've seen Parramatta, we've seen Cowboys, we've seen plenty of teams where they're conceding over 20 points a game. I mean, you definitely want it under 20. But it's not horrendous. And that's the weird thing about the Sharks. It's like you're looking at these numbers and you're like, what's everyone panicking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's just more... It's just that alarming stat that they just cannot knock off top teams. Like, they just... And it's funny when stats become a thing and things become things. I feel like it becomes harder. It was like Alex Twal when it became a thing that he couldn't score a try. He just kept getting held up over the try line and stuff. Like, it's just weird, man. Rugby league's weird, eh? Like, yeah, it just becomes a thing. And now every time they go to play a top 8 team, everyone's going to be like, you know, oh, you haven't been a top 8 team in 3 years. You know what I mean? And it becomes, I don't know. It's a weird thing, man. It's a weird thing. But yeah, I'm gonna tip in the Sharkies because I want them to win. I want them to do well. I want them to. They're another good, exciting team to play. I don't think Manly can win. No, make their 8. Sorry. And I'd love to see the Sharkies do well this year. But I would, again, like I said in the other game, I would not be surprised on Monday if I'm going, damn, Seagulls got it done. But because this is risky fiddling with your team. That's, you know, like you think about it for a sec. They're fiddling with a team with is the best or second best attack in the comp. They've dumped one of their halves. They've dumped a spine member. They're sitting in 6th. They've dumped Matt Moylan, who's played Origin and been part of this spine the whole time. They've dumped him, put someone in who's been playing Cup. Like, there's clearly, yeah, it's bizarre. But having said that, Seagulls aren't in the top 8, so Sharks are going to win, bro. All right, that's it, lads. We're done. All Dunskies. All right, let's just kick it off, eh? Let's get out of here. It's midnight here. I'm going to finish my energy drink, watch some Breaking Bad, and go to bed. Thank you all so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.